What's up, HASfit Tribe? It's your personal trainer, Coach Kozak.
And I'm Claudia. And this is a workout for seniors, beginners, and those with limited mobility.
Today's routine will require the use of a chair, so make sure you have one available.
You'll also want to have a pair of light hand weights or water bottles for some added resistance.
You can follow me for the standing variations.
And you can follow me for all of the seated variations.
If you're ready to go, let's begin. Let's begin with a warm-up. We want to prepare our bodies for this exercise routine. So our first move is going to be called a T and Y. So we're going to be focusing on our upper body. Starting with my feet shoulder width apart, I'm going to lean forward on a 45-degree angle with my back straight. I'm going to let my arms relax down here. Now with my pinkies up in the air, I'm going to perform a T. So I'm opening my chest and returning my arms back down to the floor.
So if you notice for the seated variation, I have my legs a little wider apart just to give myself some extra balance, but I'm also pregnant right now, so it gives room for my belly. And I'm just gonna slightly lean forward, pinkies up, and following Coach Kozak's lead with that T.
Just a full range of motion, opening your chest and shoulders up, nice and controlled. For 3, 2, 1. All right, shake it out, relax for a moment here. Now we're gonna hit a different set of muscles with a Y. Very similar setup, so let's get back into that bent over formation. Now our thumbs are gonna be up and we're gonna do a bent over Y. So bring my arms up into a Y formation, a little YMCA action here. Up overhead, so not straight out to your side, but also not straight up. Bring the arms all the way up, all the way down. This is great, not only as a warm-up move, but also to improve your mobility and your flexibility. Very often we get caught up in day-to-day life and never take our muscles or joints to their full range of motion. So let's go ahead and take them all the way up, whatever that looks like for you. Everybody's gonna do this routine. Arms are gonna go up a little bit different height. For 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, next we're gonna move into a compound move. Gonna warm up our upper and lower body at the same time. It's called a hamstring sweep. So I'm gonna get my right straight leg out in front of me on that heel and bring my big sweeping arms up. And as I bring them over, I'm gonna hinge at my hips, feel that stretch in my hamstring and calf, stand up. Now I'm gonna switch, left leg out and repeat, same move again. So that base leg, make sure you have a bend in that knee, and your opposite leg that's out straight is out straight. So feeling that stretch in the back of the leg, that's your hamstring and calf. And all these moves today, we're gonna encourage you to make them your own. Maybe you're more flexible than us, maybe you're less flexible than us. No one knows your body better than you do. Big deep breaths here. It's a dynamic warm-up move. So yes, we are stretching, but at the same time, we are warming up, getting our heart rate up, increasing our overall body temperature. For 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, one more here. Let's really get our heart rates up, ready for action with a little run in place. So that's hot feet, opposite arm and leg are working together. We have nice, soft, light ground touches here. Moving at a pace that you feel comfortable with here. Again, this is still the warm-up, so don't go too crazy here. We don't want to burn up all of our energy in the warm-up. Let's save some for the workout. Keeping good posture, shoulders are back. That's it.
Some nice fast toe touch.
Mentally preparing yourself for this workout. You're here, you're locked, you're loaded, you're ready to work towards those goals. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Yes. All right, I'm ready for this. Are you ready, Claudia?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, we hope you're ready out there as well, HASfit Tribe. We're gonna get started with a butt kick plus overhead shoulder extension. I'm gonna start with my hands at my side. I'm gonna bring my arms up overhead while I bring my right heel to my glute, return, and then left heel to my glute.
So as you notice, I'm bringing my heel out with my right foot and bringing it back as I bring my arms down. So just work at a pace that you feel comfortable with.
And this one's gonna work your mind and your brain just as much as it is your body. You're gonna notice that throughout today's routine. And don't be surprised because that is by design.
Just do the best that you can.
That's it. And we're working that mind-muscle connection here today. Pull those heels back, regardless you're doing my variation or Claudia's, working those hamstrings and glutes, and then of course our shoulders as we're bringing up overhead for 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, no more of those. I am gonna pick up my light hand weights for this next one.
I have my water bottles on hand on either side of me.
This one's called an Arnold Press plus a curl, and you don't have to be a bodybuilder to enjoy its benefits. We have our shoulders back, our palms start forward. I'm gonna start with a curl, so bending at our elbows. Palms are facing me here. Now I'm gonna twist my hands as I press overhead, return back down, and to my side. So it's 4 parts. 1, on 2, we twist those palms so they're forward, and then twist them back so they're facing you, and then return back to the side. And as you get the hang of it, you can move a little bit faster here, choosing a weight that's gonna challenge you, but it allows you to make it all the way through the set. We're not counting any repetitions today. We're just moving at a pace that you feel comfortable with, and you gotta set that pace for yourself. So I want you to challenge yourself because that's where change comes from. But at the same time, I don't want you to push yourself so much, where it becomes dangerous. You should be able to talk and maintain a conversation throughout this routine.
Keeping a nice tight core while you're sitting in your chair and remembering to breathe throughout this entire exercise.
This one's working your biceps as well as your shoulders. I'm sure you're feeling those shoulders. For 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, I'm gonna hang on to my hand weights for this one.
I'm gonna lose my hand weights.
And again, for any of these, you can decide if the extra weight is appropriate for you or not. We're gonna move into a sumo deadlift. Mine's from a standing position. My feet are a little wider than shoulder width apart, and my toes pointed out. With my arms hanging here in front of me, I'm gonna break up my hips, and I'm gonna sit down till my thighs are parallel to the floor, and then I'm gonna stand up.
So if you notice, mine is gonna work in a little opposite direction. I have the same setup as him, but I'm actually just gonna use the strength in my legs to push myself up off the chair and then right back into the chair.
Hers is called a sumo chair get up if you're scoring at home. And that sumo word is just to indicate that we have that wide stance. And this one's working your hamstrings, your glutes, and your quadriceps, keeping your back straight. And we're breathing throughout, so really focus on that breathing. So I'm gonna inhale on the way down, and I'm gonna exhale as I stand back up.
And for this one, I'm actually gonna exhale as I push up out of the chair, inhale as I come back down into the chair.
Oh, I'm starting to feel my legs here. Not much left, tribe. Let's go last 10 seconds.
Working at a pace that you feel comfortable with and safe with.
For 3, 2, 1, excellent. All right, let's let those legs break for a moment, and we're gonna move back to our upper bodies, specifically our backs. We're gonna do a bent over row. I'm gonna hang on to my light hand weights. And I think Claudia—
I did, I picked my hand weights up and I actually brought my bum to the front of my chair.
I'm gonna start by putting a little bend in my knees, weight in my hips, and then I'm gonna bend over on a 45-degree angle with my back straight, hands relaxed at my side. Now I'm gonna pull from my elbows, not my hands, my elbows, and return back down. And repeat. So again, not counting reps, getting as many repetitions as we can in the allotted time frame.
And notice I'm just doing the exact same movement, Lean over at an angle that you feel comfortable with. And if you need to move your legs around a little bit to help give yourself some balance, then certainly do that.
Nice little analogy I like to use on this one is pretending like there's a string attached to your elbow and you're pulling back on that string. Make sure that we're engaging the right muscle groups in our back. So not pulling back on your hands here, right? A lot of times I see people do this. Pulling back from the elbows in return. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And breathe. All right, compound move here coming up. We're gonna do a front kick plus a punch. So I'm gonna bring my hands up to my chin in a racked position. I'm gonna punch with my right hand or right arm and kick with my left. Return back. Now left punch, right kick. You decide how high that kick should be for you, depending on your fitness level, your balance, mobility, all of the above. Again, you make it work for you.
And again, I'm doing a low kick and I'm just punching my water bottle straight out in front of me and returning my feet and my water bottles.
Again, another one of those moves that's working our brain just as much as it's working our bodies. Nice, soft ground touches when you return that foot to the floor. Full extension in that punch.
And exhale as you punch and kick at the same time.
This one's working our shoulders, our chest, triceps, our quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and our abs, all working on this one. So if you're starting to feel it, you're not alone. Thousands, maybe millions of y'all at home doing that same burn that we're all feeling right here, right now. We're in it together, tribe.
Not much left.
For 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're gonna really focus on our arms, specifically the triceps with this next one. It's called a triceps kickback. So I am gonna, again, hold on to my light hand weights. Feet are shoulder width apart, bending forward onto that 45-degree angle. My first move is gonna be to pull those elbows back, similar to how we did in that row, but I'm gonna lock my upper arm parallel to the floor, and I'm gonna extend from my elbow, only bending at my elbow, squeezing my triceps up at the top. Now, your temptation here, once you start to get fatigued, is gonna be to roll the whole arm and do one of these numbers. But please fight that temptation. And note how we're only moving, only flexing at that elbow joint, forcing those triceps to work. It's isolating them. And then, now we're starting to feel it.
And even if water bottles feel like it's too much for you, go ahead and drop them. There's no problem with you just performing the movement.
That's a great point. And then vice versa, if this is too easy, we encourage you to increase the resistance you're using. Modify this workout, change it up to meet your specific fitness needs as we go through it. Last 5 seconds, folks. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Excellent.
Okay, you can drop those weights.
Yep, I'm dropping mine as well. And we're gonna get our heart rates up with this next one. I'm gonna give you 2 different options. So my variation is gonna be a side shuffle, putting the weight back on my hips, and I'm gonna bring my right foot to my left, step out. Right foot to my left, step out, and then return, moving at a pace that you feel comfortable doing so.
And notice I have my arms at 90-degree angles and I'm just marching in place. So I bring my right arm up and my left leg comes up.
So again, whichever of these variations you feel more comfortable with, we encourage you to perform. If you are doing my standing variation, make sure that you're seated back the whole time so you're not standing up big and tall. But then you're also not clicking your feet together, not crossing them over, not getting tripped up.
And for my variation, I am trying to maintain a nice standing tall position in this chair. So I definitely don't want to hunch over. You want to keep your shoulders nice and square, your back and your core nice and engaged.
That's it. And we're breathing, folks. Do not hold your breath. I promise you, you will regret it if you're holding your breath here. Let's go 10 more seconds. Come on, you got this, HASfit Tribe. Stay tough. Stay in it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, feeling good, shaking those legs out. I'm gonna go back to my hand weights for this one. We're gonna perform what's called a battling rope. So really upper body dominant move here. I'm gonna put my weight back in my hips. Arms are out in front of me. And I'm gonna alternate between right and left arms going up and down. So if you've ever seen anybody take like the big, what do you call it? Like the big intertwined ropes.
Yeah.
And they perform this move. It's called a battling rope. That's the inspiration here. But we can do the same thing here at home without a 100-foot rope in our living room. If you are performing the standing variation, make sure you're seated back with your weight in your hips. So you're gonna get some legs involved here as well.
And with the seated one, make sure we always want to maintain a good posture. We don't want to be hunched over like this. So we want to do our best to keep our backs nice and straight and our shoulders nice and square.
That's it. Remembering to breathe. So if you're doing the standing variation, it's working your legs, but both variations are working our core, our shoulders, our back, our arms, all getting involved here. We don't have much left. Let's do this one for 10 more seconds. Come on.
Let's go. Come on.
Fighting to the end. You got it. You got it. For 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. All right, we're gonna work our legs next, and I'm gonna set my hand weights down, and I'm gonna grab a chair for some extra balance. This is optional, really depends on you and your comfort with your own stability. We're gonna perform either a reverse lunge
or a leg extension.
So I'm starting here, good posture. I'm gonna first step back with my left leg, using the chair for support, and then I'm gonna drop both knees to a 90-degree angle and then return back to the top, alternating right and left legs.
And notice I came all the way up to the edge of my seat. I have my hands behind me for some balance and stability, and I'm extending my leg, and I'm gonna give my quads, which is this muscle group right here, and I squeeze at the top, returning to the ground and just bringing up the next leg.
So you decide which variation's more appropriate for you, your fitness level, how you're feeling today, all of those good things. You're gonna notice again, I am relying on this chair for some extra stability. If you feel comfortable and you don't need it today, that's great. But it is nice to have there just in case you need it.
And of course, even in the seated, I want you to maintain nice core stability. We don't want you squatting or rounding your shoulders, but keeping a nice straight back. Exhale as we extend that leg.
That's a great tip. Really, every exercise is a core move if you're doing it appropriately.
That's right. But I'm just going to continue to remind you.
That's right. We're doing this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, I don't need my chair for the next one, but I will be picking up my hand weights. They're optional for you. You decide if it's appropriate. Little compound move coming at you. We're gonna call this one a squat plus a high pull. So it's like 2 moves in one. We're gonna start with our feet shoulder width apart, and I have my hands at my side. I'm gonna break at my hips, sit back into a squat. And then as I come up, I'm gonna bring my elbows up and onto the balls of my feet and return.
So for my variation, I'm just gonna hinge at the hips, move forward at a 45-degree angle. And then as I come up, I'm gonna high pull with those elbows and come up on my toes and return.
The big thing that we both have in common on this one is we are using that power from our lower bodies to help drive those hand weights and our elbows straight up. So it's like you building that power and then explode at the top.
So you're gonna inhale as you go down or hinge over. And as you come into the high pull, you're gonna give a nice exhale.
That's it. If you are doing this squat, we wanna make sure that we have our weight evenly balanced in the midfoot so we're not falling back onto our heels, but we're also not coming forward onto our toes. To do so, you're breaking at those hips first. Anytime we squat, hips, and then you can break at the knees. Ideally, I'm coming down until my thighs are parallel to the floor. Not much left on this one. I know we're feeling it too. For 3, 2, 1. All right, that's a big power move.
Excellent.
I'm gonna set my hand weights down. We're gonna move into what's called a straight arm jack, so a little cardiovascular move here. So I'm gonna start with my hands out in front of me, palms are together. I'm gonna open my arms and I'm gonna step my right foot out to my side, return back to the middle, step my left foot to the side, return to the middle.
And I'm doing the exact same movement, except for my seated variation. I'm gonna open my hips and try to bring my legs out to the side as best as I can.
And again, you decide which variation is right for you and what pace is right for you.
That's right.
I mean, if this is too easy for you right now, pick it up. If you're hurting after those squat plus high pulls, little slower pace is better for you.
And if your flexibility with your hips isn't quite what it is with mine, that's okay. Just try to open your hips as much as you can.
This one's not only working your lower body, but also your shoulders and your chest and back. I'm feeling mine as well. You're not alone out there, HASfit Tribe. We're feeling it too. Not much left here, thankfully. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, shake out those shoulders.
Yes.
Okay, the good news is our shoulders are getting a break.
Yeah.
Bad news is we're gonna focus on that core. So for the next 2 moves, I'm gonna move to the floor to work my core. But if you don't feel comfortable moving to the floor, or you just think it's not right for you, go ahead and follow Claudia, stay in the chair. Totally up to you. So we're gonna perform what's called a hollow body next. It is an isolation exercise or isometric exercise. Hold and contract. So I'm gonna lie down on my back. I'm gonna have my arms up overhead, and I'm gonna bring my shoulder blades up off the floor, and I'm just gonna hold here like so.
So notice on my chair, I came up to the front of my chair. I just lean back, almost at a 45-degree angle, bring my arms up, and I'm gonna hold and keep a nice, tight contraction on my abdominals. If this is too much for you with your arms overhead, just go ahead and cross your hands right here on your chest and hold.
In both variations, we're focusing on those abs. Make those abs do the holding. If you're down here and you're starting to feel tension in your neck, relax your head and then bring your tongue to the roof of your mouth. It'll help you relax that. If you're down here and this is too easy, then I want you to glue your lower back to the floor, and you can bring your legs up into a tabletop position, as long as you can keep that lower back glued to the floor.
And when you're contracting your abdominals, we just want to make them nice and tight, like you're trying to hold something in. Don't hold your breath.
Not much left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. So that's 1 core move down, and we have 1 more to go.
1 more.
So next up, we're gonna do a hip up, and again, showing you different variations here, either from the floor or the chair. So I'm lying back down. This time I have my feet firmly planted in the floor, and my feet are pretty close to my glutes. I'm gonna have my hands relaxed here on the floor, and I'm gonna drive off my heels, and I'm gonna squeeze my glutes up at the top, and then gently return them back down to the floor.
And again, notice I brought my hands behind me. I brought my bum to the very front of my chair, and I'm using my heels to drive my glutes right into the air and back down.
On this one, it's so important that you're driving off those heels and engaging your hamstrings, that's the back of your legs, and your glutes or your buttocks. So yes, this actually is gonna also work your abs and your lower back, but we wanna try to make those hamstrings and glutes do the work on
That's
this
right.
one. So you're not hyperextending from the back. Come up as far as you can, do so feeling comfortably, and then squeeze your buttocks up at the top.
And you might feel like you need to move your feet out a little bit more just to kind of isolate those glutes and hamstrings, and that's okay.
Not much left here. Let's go last 10 seconds. Breathe in on the way down. Exhale on the way up for 3, 2, 1, and 0. Well done. Excellent work, Claudia.
Nice work.
Excellent work to you out there. We made it to everybody's favorite part of the workout, the cool down.
Yes, and I'm actually going to grab a second chair.
And I'm going to get 1 chair for this one. Our first cool down move is going to be called a downward dog. We're going to really stretch out our posterior chain. And the purpose of our cool down is to allow our heart rates to come down slowly. And at the same time, we're getting some added mobility and stretching in. So for my variation, I have the chair set up in front of me. I'm gonna step back, and I'm gonna gently pull my hips back. I'm gonna pretend like somebody has their hand on my hips, and they're pulling my hips back as I rock back in, relaxing my shoulders, stretching my hamstrings and glutes, and I'm just gonna hold here.
And for my seated variation, I'm just gonna move my bum back on the chair, and I'm gonna lean forward into the chair in front of me, and I'm just gonna stretch my back and try to bring my head in between both of my biceps, essentially.
Big deep breaths here. Not much left. Let's go last 10 seconds. For 3, 2, 1, 0. come up slowly, please. We don't want to get that blood rushing to your head here.
Okay, I'm gonna lose my second chair.
And I'm gonna actually sit down in my one chair for this next one. We're gonna do what's called a seated figure 4. This one's great for our hips, hamstrings, and glutes. So for my variation, I'm gonna have my right leg, my knee bent at a 90-degree angle. I'm gonna take my left leg and bring it up onto my right knee.
I'm gonna have my right leg out and I'm gonna bring my left leg, and this is gonna depend on you. You can either have your ankle crossed over your shin. If you feel like you can bring it up over your knee, then you can have it there. Just whatever feels most comfortable for you.
Again, it just depends on your flexibility level. Now, if you're feeling good here and you want some, this right here alone, this might be plenty of stretch for you.
Might be.
But if you want some additional stretch, gently come forward. And then that's gonna really finish off the stretch if needed, and hold. Again, we're giving you plenty of tools to work with here. You determine which is most appropriate for you and your body.
I'm just gonna hang out right here.
All right.
Just nice and square, good posture.
For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, reset, nice and slow. Same move, opposite side. And you might, once you get into this, find that one side is way tighter than the other and you need to adjust it from side to side. Don't be alarmed at that, that's totally common. As I mentioned, this one is going to stretch our hips as well as our hamstrings, our glutes. It also really hits our piriformis, which for those of you who are not aware, is specifically the part of our buttocks where that nerve comes through your sciatic foramen, which is what's going to cause sciatica. So this is a great stretch to either prevent or alleviate pain from sciatic nerve pain. For 3, 2, 1, 0. Coming up slowly. All right, we're gonna stay seated in our chairs and we're gonna stretch out that upper body. Good, big posture here. We're gonna move into an upright row, plus rotation, plus reach. So 3 parts. Good posture, elbows come up as high as they can. And now flip those hands over and bring them back as far as you can, almost like somebody's gently pulling on them. Then reach straight up overhead and return or reverse it. So elbows come down, hands come down, relax at your side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Going all the way through that range of motion. And don't forget to smile. You should be proud of yourself for what you've achieved so far today. If exercise were easy, everybody be fit, everybody be in great shape. But we all know that isn't the case. And that's what makes you so special for showing up today, putting in that work. And that's why you should feel good about yourself, checking it off your to-do list. For 3, 2, 1, and 0. All right, I'm gonna stand up for this next one. We're gonna stretch our quadriceps. And Claudia, you're gonna stay in the chair for this one?
I'm gonna stay in my chair, but I'm gonna move all the way over to the right.
So I'm gonna use my chair to help support me, give me a little bit of added stability here. Have it on my left side. And now I'm gonna pull back my right foot, keeping my knee into my side, stretching my quadricep, also known as your thigh.
And notice I moved my leg all the way back as far as I could. Do what feels comfortable to you, but just making sure I get a good, nice stretch in that quadricep.
And we're just holding here. So this is what you would call a static stretch. We want to go to the point where we feel a good stretch, but not where we feel pain. And if you want to do my variation, but you can't quite reach your foot, you could also use a towel or a band. For 3, 2, 1, relax. So same move, just switching up sides. So I'm moving my chair.
Come back up nice and slow from mine. And again, bringing that left leg back. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's it. Moving right into that same position, opposite side. And we're just gonna hold here. That's it. Feeling a good stretch. Again, static stretches. We want to get to like 85, 90% of what we might be capable of. Feeling a good stretch, but not pulling so hard where we're, hurting ourselves or building up scar tissue. Just a gentle stretch. Come back, repeat this routine. Every time you get a little bit better.
Better and better. That's it.
for 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, we have one last cool down move for you here. I'm gonna lose my chair. This one could be done standing or seated. I'm gonna do it standing. We're gonna do this move called a waterfall. So let's go ahead and bring that elbow into our side. Our right palm is up towards the ceiling. My opposite hand is gonna pull back on those fingers gently. And then while I'm pulling back on my fingers, I'm gonna hinge at my elbow, straightening my arm. Now at the same time, pulling back on the fingers and the arm. I feel a stretch all down my forearm, in my wrist, through my bicep, all throughout. And again, static stretch, we're just holding here.
And again, keyword is a gentle pull on those fingers.
That's it. No reason to go crazy.
No. We want you to stay nice and safe and healthy.
That's it. For 3, 2, 1, relax. All right, last one here, opposite side. And pull back ever so gently. That's it. And just hold right there. You got it. Couple of big deep breaths here. Taking a moment to be proud of what we've achieved so far today. If you can't be proud of yourself, then don't expect anybody else to be.
Except for us. We're very proud of you.
Well, that's true.
We're proud of you for showing up.
And 3, 2, 1, 0. Relax. You made it. Nice work, Claudia.
Nice work to you.
Nice work out there, HASfit Tribe. We are so grateful that you chose us to work out with today. We know you have a lot of choices, so it's really humbling when you come and spend some time with us. Did you know that you can get even faster results by following a complete exercise program?
Those programs can be found on our HASfit app by downloading it on your iPhone or Android device, or you can visit hasfit.com.
You can even stop by our store, pick up your own HASfit gear, or our diet guide, Eating for Life.
Also, don't forget to like us on your favorite social media channels.
Again, thank you so much for choosing us to work out today. I'm Coach Kozak.
And I'm Claudia.
And we will see you at your next workout.